We're back with the inventor of the Miata, Bob Hall.
That's me.
And I'm gonna force him to react to horribly modified Miatas.
Horribly modified Miatas?
Mm-hmm.
Inconceivable.
It's time for that first clip. Oh, this thing. Oh my God. What do you think of that?
I don't understand this. 6 lights.
Yeah, wow. That thing is quite stanced.
It's something, that's for sure. You guys, hey, anybody out there have an airline bag?
This is a pretty well-known Miata in SoCal back in the day.
Is it
back
really?
in around like 2016?
Oh, that must have been when I was out of the country, thank God.
It's called the Franken Miata.
It's alive! It's alive! I have no idea who this guy is, a driver, but he seems to be driving around elementary schools, maybe to impress the kids. Maybe the only ones who'd be impressed by the car.
Yeah, because
it might be for something else, but I don't even want to go there.
Well, it's Bob, ladies and gentlemen. I think it's because it looks like a Matchbox or a Hot Wheels that's just been smushed to the floor.
It's not that good looking.
No, it's not.
Why did I do this?
Because you love it, Bob. You love it. Make sure to stick around to the end of the video where I'm going to take Bob for a ride in a Miata that we turned into a lowrider.
I wish I had a paper bag I can put on my head.
And hopefully it goes a lot better than the one we just saw. Oh, I've seen this one before.
Ah, that Miata's gone to hell, Cat.
It's got this. It's a monster. Look at that thing. Oh my God. How does it even fit in there?
A Hellcat-swapped Miata. This is what Miata owners' dreams are made of.
I don't know about that one.
Nightmares, maybe. This is beyond my comprehension. I mean, I'm not against V8 Miata swaps. And I've seen some very, very nice ones, really well done ones.
Like the Monster Miata ones.
Yeah, exactly.
People putting
this
LSs.
one reminds me a little bit of why a dog licks its balls. Okay?
And why is that, Bob?
Because it can. Okay? Not because it really wants to or anything. Not because there's any need.
Yeah. So, Bob, when you guys were creating the Miata, did you ever see possibly putting in a bigger engine?
Early on, we were fighting a group within Mazda Engineering that wanted to put a rotary in it.
Oh.
And that was a tricky fight for a number of reasons. First of all, it fit, obviously.
Yes.
But the guy that was the strongest against it was Kenichi Yamamoto, who was that time as the head of R&D, moved on to be the president of Mazda, and was also the man who was responsible for getting the rotary to work. He was a big rotary engine fan, but he even said, this car's not supposed to be rotary. He understood that if you're going to do multiple cars in a product range, you needed to have glass ceilings. So it's thought, the Miata has to sit below the RX-7.
Because it was just supposed to be a tiny sports car.
It's a different kind of
It wasn't
car.
supposed to be a Grand Tourer.
It wasn't supposed to be the old story. If you can't go fast 90 horsepower, 900 won't help you, okay? So it was not about being the fastest. It was about being a certain kind of car that's affordable, it's fun to drive. What's that noise?
Breaking news, Bob.
Oh,
the Hellcat Miata was actually crashed.
Oh,
because it had too much power, probably.
This must have just happened.
No, it happened 4 years ago. It happened in 2020 after a new owner bought it. And I believe that new owner bought it for a pretty high price as well. And then I think they owned it for maybe 3 months.
Oh, that long?
Yeah.
It would have been better if it was like the second day he got it. Hey, honey,
It
look at
might
this.
be that too. I believe it was pretty early when he bought it. Pretty sad. I mean, it looks sad sitting there. What are you looking at?
The car.
No. Yeah, such a shame, but
I guess there's the other way to look at it. It's not a shame. It's kind of, goodness is catching up with badness.
well, Bob, if you thought a Hellcat engine was overkill, then you better buckle up. It's about to get way worse.
That's not possible.
Oh, yeah, it is.
Inconceivable.
Play the clip. Look at that thing. That's a hot rod. That thing looks wild.
I've never seen a 16-cylinder Miata before.
Yeah. Is that, let's just, oh my God. It does have 2 engines.
Yeah.
Holy, that thing looks crazy. It looks insane. The handling on this thing is completely gone. I mean.
Well, first of all, I don't think
even
anybody that would do that work has any comprehension what handling is.
No.
Other than, maybe steering is light.
Yeah. And look how big the wheels and tires are. Like, look at that. So with this, he's obviously cut the front half off, extended it, and
Now, extended with what?
Exactly.
Yeah,
probably
balsa wood. You know,
Yeah,
I mean,
balsa wood or tube metal.
It'd be fun to take a speed bump in it.
Yes. Yes.
I think you'd hear this noise that would sound like something snapping. That is something that even in my worst dreams I could not have.
This seems like something right up your alley. I don't know.
Thank you very much. I think we'll cut that out.
Today's sponsor, Nissan, invited us to Nashville. Check out the music scene in the all-new Nissan Kicks.
Have you ever been here before?
Nope, never. And I've never driven a Kicks.
You're never going to, because I'm driving.
Yeah, okay, whatever. Okay, I like the interior.
Dude, these screens are really nice.
I like the hint of red stitching along the side.
It's on our seats. Speaking of seats, Bose stereo in the headrest.
Music must sound amazing in this thing. This is nice.
Yeah,
This is very nice. I like it. It makes me feel all the bass to the head.
yeah. You ready to check out Nashville?
Yay!
Let's go.
The newly designed Kicks has a Bose Personal Plus system with 10 speakers throughout the car, including ones in both front headrests, giving you that live concert feel on every single drive. Well, that escalated quickly.
Yeah, I did. Help me figure out how to fit all this in the car.
Should be easy. 2025 Kicks has way more cargo space than you'd think. We could just load up our stuff, drop it off at the hotel, and then go cruising through. Hold up. It's Nissan. They want the Kicks back by tonight.
Ignore it. There's no way they're gonna notice if we keep it longer.
If you're looking for a spacious, well-equipped concert on wheels, check out the all-new Nissan Kicks. To learn more, click the link below.
One of the most popular modifications done to the Miata is the installation of a turbo kit. Let's see how it worked out for this next guy.
All right, here we go.
Oh,
All you
dude,
know,
it's
all right,
Rudnick.
all easy. Ready? Goodbye, Riggs, baby!
Oh my God!
Man,
Rudnick!
that's a hot car.
Oh, that sucks. I haven't seen that one before.
Well, hang on a minute. Oh yeah.
That looks bad. What do you think of turbos on Miatas?
I'm not yet in an iron lung, so I don't need help breathing, and I don't see why car does. Okay. Excuse me.
You okay?
I will be. I in some cars, I think turbos are great.
Yeah.
Okay. But if I had a choice of Miata with a turbo and not a turbo, I think I'd take a not a turbo Miata.
Because I know Mazda Speed in the 90s, they were doing turbos and Miatas. And
Yeah, I mean, I guess the thing with the Miata, one of the things I like is it's light and simple. And if it doesn't need it, don't put it on.
Yeah.
And since it's fun to drive and the performance is good, and D, you could argue, 170 some horsepower without a turbo. If you need more horsepower than that, as your horsepower increases, it just, just something with a dimension. So there you go.
There we go. Straight from the guy's mouth.
The guy that doesn't have a turbo.
So if you want to modify your Miata, Bob, and you don't want to put a turbo on it, what would you recommend for someone?
Low restriction exhaust, particularly when it sounds really nice.
Yeah.
Low restriction intake. Okay. There's plenty of add-on, bolt-on stuff.
Air intake, exhaust.
And now they've got remapped electronic control units.
So new ECU.
Yeah, that stuff like that helps. It makes it, and it's still fun to drive. I've got Jackson Racing low restriction on mine. It's great. I think the car's been lowered too much. That's just me.
Really?
Yeah.
I think it has perfect fitment. I wouldn't touch it.
It looks great, but you'd try in my apartment building.
Oh.
Okay.
Trouble getting it up the driveway, huh?
No, it's fine. Inconceivable.
Bob, what do you think went wrong in this situation?
He put a turbo on it.
Yep.
No, I think he put a turbo on it and he had it all pumped up and he wanted to show off.
Oh.
Excuse me.
You getting a call?
Yes. You don't say. You don't say. You don't say. Okay.
What was it?
He didn't say. Next clip, please.
Whoa. Little cart Miata, huh? With a turbo. That's why you need the marshmallows.
Oh, look at
Yep.
There's an opportunity. He just had a stick coming over the windshield.
Yeah. What do you think of something like that?
I wouldn't call that a cart Miata.
No.
No.
Why?
I'd call it a skeletal Miata.
It does look like a skeleton.
It is. Yeah.
Would you drive something like that or no?
No, I wouldn't, but it's kind of cool.
Yeah?
It is kind of cool. Yeah, it's neat about, and It might have been a rust bucket, okay? It might have been involved in some sort of hideous accident, but it kept the good parts going.
Yeah.
And with a turbo, which I have fewer problems here, okay? First of all, it's easier to see the fires, so you can get out with your marshmallows, okay?
Quick, get the marshmallows out.
Hurry. Or, does anybody have any sliced bread? We can make toast. It's given it something that you can use it, you can do it. I mean, again, it doesn't look particularly road legal to me, but
no,
in some states,
I don't see any
no
headlights or turn signals
or washers,
and I doubt it has taillights.
Probably not.
Well, I'm glad you enjoyed this one. How about we go to the next clip?
That's conceivable.
Oh, yes. I personally love the Targa look. What do you think? What are your thoughts? No, you don't like the Targa look? I don't get them. I love it.
Just joking. It's not bad. It's not. The thing that diminishes Targaizing a Miata hardtop in my mind a bit is the fact that it's got a curved side window at the top. So you have this problem. How do you resolve the top? And it looks a little awkward to me. We have the curve and then the cut. If it were one of those glasses that had an edge, you have a nice straight line, it would work better. It's a minor thing. It's me bitching and moaning about pop-up headlights.
Right.
Okay. It's a matter of personal preference. It's not half bad.
Personally, I really want to do this to the lowrider Miata later next year, possibly. I think it would be really cool because we have a few things that we want to do with the interior, and I think that would be great.
Oh, excuse me, I thought you say something?
Yes.
I think we should clip this roof off and go to something new.
Let's do it. Last time we looked at Miatas, Bob wanted to see more of the four-seater Miata in Utah that I almost bought. So let's see what they're up to. Hey, look at that thing go.
Hey, it's drifting.
I know.
Look, is that drifting by accident?
I don't think so. Dang, look at that thing go.
Oh, yeah.
That looks so cool. I would love to drive that thing. I think it looks so cool. Personally, I think it looks really cool.
I get that impression from what you said. But,
Yeah.
After we had the Miata up and running and out the door, we had looked at a four-door Miata, a four-seater Miata. Now, it wasn't, we called it a Miata, but the idea was we were going to design a new sporty four-seat four-door body using the mechanical components. So wheelbase was different, track was different, not hugely. The wheelbase was noticeably bigger. But
Would the dash have been like the same?
No, because the cowl height was slightly higher so that we could get people sitting a little more upright in the car. See, if you build a four-seater,
so it would have been
the Miata road position, it'd be so bloody long. The idea was to make something that's like a very sporty four-door. It was more compact than a 323. We had some support in Japan, but at the time the Miata was going so well, but it was a different kind of car. It was to be like a hyper sporty sedan.
New Miata lore drop, ladies and gentlemen. The people gotta know. The name Miata, MX-5, what's the difference?
When the project started, it had no name. It picked up the nickname LWS, which meant lightweight sports. It's determined that the launch market will be the United States. And so a guy over at Mazda Motors of America, Rod Bymaster, absolute car nut, really great person. He does sports cars, and this is his job. So he starts looking, and we say, we need some help on nomenclature. So he went out and started thinking, and he wanted to do a name that had alliteration with M, with Mazda. He came up with going through this Miata, and it's Old High German for prize or reward. Now, at this time, we still have no project name, no product name. So we tossed this to Japan. Now, Japan hasn't even been thinking about it because they're not going to get the car for about 6 or 8 months after the U.S. launch. So they're handling the first stage one of marketing with us.
Yeah.
Miata went back, Japanese loved the sound. One of the reasons is, and this got us in trouble, was there was a Japanese bicycle manufacturer called Miata, M-I-Y-A-T-A.
Yep.
This is a very typically Japanese thing. Mazda went and talked to the people who own Miata, a company you may have heard of called Panasonic. And they agreed that they could use the name, and in exchange, unofficial, there's nothing written down. All of the audio equipment, the radios on NA Miatas were produced by a division of Panasonic. So, yeah, okay, you can use the name. Japan was going to use it, M-I-A-T-A. There were some concerns over confusion with the bicycle. In the States, it's no problem.
Yeah.
Name sounds well. They did a customer test of the name and some alternatives, and they loved it. What happened is Japan decides they're going to do these 5 sales channels. So the alliteration with M wasn't needed, and they just said, okay, fine. It was going to this UNOS division. And the clever guys at UNOS came up with Roadster, which they could register in Japan, but couldn't register anywhere else.
Yeah. That was the Japan only name.
So that's why I end up with UNOS Roadster, okay? Now, they launched the car in March 1989 at the Chicago Motor Show as the Mazda Miata. Now, if you talk to the crew in Japan, they still call it the Miata. Non-marketing people in Japan still referred to it as Miata. Car launches in the States. The original plan was going to launch it on the 4th of July, and the ad campaign was selected that had a red, white, and blue and a Miata, and it said 3 cheers for red, white, and blue. After the Chicago show, and the car showing up in the press, the demand for the car went completely ape. And they were shipping cars and holding them at the port. The man in charge of marketing, a guy named Dwayne Bowen, another very sharp guy at Mazda, who was truly marketing, not a sales guy, he was marketing. He said, release the cars to the dealers. And they went out early. Now, by the time the official launch would have happened, which was the 4th of July, dealers are getting $3,000 and $4,000 over a sticker for Miatas. Okay, so the car has made a huge hit.
Yeah.
Yamamoto, who by this time is president of Mazda, Yamamoto does a video for NHK, Japanese national broadcaster, does an English and Japanese version. And he refers to the car as the Mazda Miata, which was designed by the Americans.
Whoa.
Okay. So that lifted that. The car launches at the Tokyo Motor Show in '89 as UNOS Roadster. And they had to go out of their way to tell the Japanese press not to call it the Miata.
Wow.
But people in Japan, when they bought them, one of the first things they bought were Miata badges. Okay. Finally, a car launches in Europe, and it's an MX-5 because the European importers didn't want to worry about a potential issue with the bike people. So the Europeans insist on calling it an MX-5. Okay, fine. But that doesn't mean the other ones are MX-5s. Even in Japan, they call it a Miata.
A Miata.
Because the first name it was sold at to the public was Miata.
Let's go to the next clip. Oh, nice. NB. Oh, whoa. That's some crazy suspension work.
It does.
Dang. Whoa. Wow, that is a lot of poke. Oh, that's sick.
It's a 4-seater.
Yeah.
of sorts.
Look at that thing. Oh, that's so cool. Would you take it to Baja?
I might take it to Red Rock Canyon.
That'd be fun.
Particularly because Red Rock Canyon got used in movies from Mars a lot. So you said first Miata on Mars. Yeah.
I do like the off-road style because it kind of does remind me of like a Eurofighter rally car a little bit. Obviously, this one's got a little bit more height.
Yeah, it does. I guess the thing with off-road-ish Miatas I'd personally like to see would be something that was in line with some of the, for example, the cars that were done for the London to Sydney Marathon, which were this rougher than usual rally cars, okay, but not quite at this level of devolution.
Would you ever drive one of these though? Would you want to go out?
I'd be happy to be a passenger.
If we've learned one thing from modified Miatas, it's whenever a Miata shows up in a place it doesn't belong, you should never underestimate it. As the owner of the Lamborghini in this next clip found out the hard way.
There's no place a Miata doesn't belong.
We ran like 7 races already.
Oh my God.
Back to back to back.
Big crowd. Oh, look at that thing go.
I love it.
Wow, that looked dangerous though, I will say.
You think?
That's an NB too.
It is an NB.
Let's see.
Which in this case, you'd look at it and say, not bad.
Not bad.
Not bad. Although the guy in the Lambo ain't saying that.
Yeah, he's like, oh. I would have to imagine that before this race, this guy probably saw that it had an LS in it.
I wouldn't, in this case, sorry, I wouldn't assume. Because sometimes these little get-togethers are quite, there's sometimes not a lot of buildup. And, you know, he could be thinking, this guy wants to race me, yeah, sure.
In a little Miata, I'm going to smoke him.
I mean, usually the weight on Lambos runs between like 42 on the high side, probably about 36 on the bottom.
Yeah. So weight probably played a big contributor to this.
Oh, sure. I'm sure the guy at the Lamborghini weighted a bit. Oh, wait. Oh, no, you're talking, sorry. You're talking about mass. My mistake. Yeah. My mistake. Okay. Yeah, no doubt. No doubt. You know, but it's still interesting. Another one, bear in mind, the Lambo was probably four-wheel drive. So it probably had colossal grip right off the line. Where
The Miata was probably still trying to get grip up till like second or third gear.
Well, a rear drive car is because a weight transfer is pretty good. The problem when you have that much power is that it's probably rather more than it was designed to handle.
Putting down the power is another issue.
Exactly.
Next clip.
Let's talk suspension on myself.
Oh,
right
it's
here.
Dion.
So if you look under my car. Boom! You see the
Dion's car's
control
nice.
Arm, upper control arm. Those are AST three-way coilovers. Cannon brace from Fly Miata. I made my own titanium exhaust. This is by SC Project. And then, as you can see back there, you punch in. Boom.
Oh yeah.
Billet spindles. So next, we're gonna do a.
I didn't know he had billet spindles on
on
this car.
Right here
That thing
with a
is
488, so we can run.
I like this car so much. This car is one of my favorite Miata builds. It's set up so well.
And for the front, they're actually hidden back there. It's kind of hard to see, but yeah, they're over there.
It looks so good. I've met Dion. He knows how to build cars right, and this thing it's set up very well.
No, the suspension setup is cool.
Yeah, I love it when people go all out on these cars with the suspension. I mean,
if somebody said we want to put that in your Miata, I wouldn't mind having a Miata with that in it at all.
No, definitely not. I would love to drive this thing. It's a really cool car.
Let Jimmy drive your car.
So Bob, there was a lot of work that went into the suspension on this car. How much work went into the original Miata when you guys were designing it?
Originally, to sell the idea, it relied very heavily on the parts bin. We were going to use an SA RX-7 rear axle with shorter tubes because of the narrower track. And as we got more into it, we brought a guy in, Norman Garrett, who was brought in to the engineering department to do accessory design. He came up with this idea that was utterly brilliant. Use the rear suspension from the 323 GTX four-wheel drive.
Really?
Yeah. That went back to Japan. And Japan were like, really, wow, yeah. But the more they looked into it, as they got farther into the vehicle packaging, they learned that the strut towers were too tall to clear the top bay. So they said, we'll do a new rear suspension.
Wow.
Okay, and we were not expecting that.
And that sold them on the idea.
And they managed to get it past the accountants. The thing with the Miata is you talk about I keep saying I'm not the father of the Miata. It's not Tamatano's car. Okay, it's Toshihiko Hirai, who was the guy that actually made the car. None of us worked on it full time, but Hirai and his people. We'd work on a stage, we'd pass it to Japan, we wouldn't hear from them for weeks. They'd do stuff, come back to us. We kept feeding them with ideas, but we weren't the ones who were actually selecting and implementing them. They went back there and they came up with a way they could develop this multi-link rear end rather than use one off the shelf. And when it got that far, then Hirai, to his credit, worked on, well, let's do a multi-link up front. So it got better in stages as the team worked on it, because a project like the Miata, it's not one person, it's the input of many people.
Yeah.
And some people who come in bring ideas that look at what you did and say, yeah, that's even cleverer than what I did. And I didn't do much clever, really.
Yeah.
The most clever thing I did was bribing management to build a car.
Yeah. Hey, you did
joking.
Hey, you did a pretty good job at it.
Tsugi no clip kudasai ne. Run the damn clip!
I am Tony Lund. I am the showrunner of
the guy.
Real Mechanic Stuff.
That's the guy.
And my car is the one and only Aston Miata. This car is a 93 NA that's been engine swapped from a 1.6 to a 1.8, and its most striking feature is this goofy-looking body kit.
It's so
That
goofy.
is kind of all
so
of
goofy.
the Aston
I'm
Martins.
sorry.
All at once. A lot of people hate this car. A lot of people think it's kind of sick.
The Aston Miata? Yeah, it exists.
Tony, can you just put some different wheels on it, please? It looks so tall.
I'm on board with you there.
It looks so insane. It's on 17-inch wheels.
No, the thing about this car is it is a Miata, yes. But the link to the Aston Martin is so obvious. For example, it has exactly one-third the number of cylinders. Okay? Exactly.
There you go.
Exactly. I think it's cool because it's so wacky. Okay,
It is.
And I love wackiness in the Miata. And underneath, it's still fun to drive and everything. The thing that's made this thing now, in my mind, more than just acceptable is all the work that Sandro put in on it. Because of course, Tony'd be hopeless trying to do it.
It's not wrong. It's not wrong.
Thank you, Sandro, for hooking Tony up.
Yeah.
Now just help him with the wheel fitment, please. Please. Bob, would you like to see what happened when I put my little sunburst up against Tony's abomination?
Oh, absolutely. Come on,
Yeah.
it's not an abomination. Come on, let's be honest. Let's see how I did here. Come on. Be fair. Be fair.
I'm being fair.
Inching your way to the staging box.
All
Coming up on the stage. All cars leading line.
There we go.
Better reaction time of 5/10 basically.
Look at that. Little 1.6 pulling ahead. And then I shifted into fifth from third accidentally. But look at that. Look how close that was.
Tony, can you hear me? Mm-hmm. Is your car an automatic?
No,
It looked it.
He stalled the start.
I did.
Yeah, he stalled the start. He deep staged and then put it in reverse, backed up, and then by the time it was green, he was still getting out of reverse, and I was already gone. All right, Bob.
Yeah.
It's time for you to see the lowrider Miata.
Do I have a choice?
No, you have no choice.
Can I go to the bathroom first?
Yeah, you can go to the bathroom
Okay,
first.
I'll do
Yeah.
that. I'll just stay there.
You ready to see something?
The top's down?
Yeah, the top is
Okay,
down.
let me put my hat on.
There you go.
Here we go.
All right, you ready?
Sure, why not?
The lowrider Miata, Bob. What do you think?
What happened to it?
Do you want to go for a drive in it?
Do I have a choice?
No, you got to do this, and then you can go home.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, come on. All right, Bob, this is it. The lowrider Miata out on the streets. What do you think so far?
I wish I had a paper bag I can put on my head. No, that's okay. In this neighborhood, no one knows me.
You know what we're doing to your Miata right now back at the shop? You left it there.
Huh?
We already cut the springs on
No,
it.
no,
It's
no.
turning into a lowrider as we
Oh,
speak.
no. It's already a lowrider with a disc.
But yeah, this thing is a little all over the place, as you can see.
Yeah?
You can feel like a little there's like a little delay in the rotate.
Oh, is there?
But I think that's because the springs are just so bouncy. And I think this is the most fitting for an automatic Miata. I mean, most of the automatic cars, I feel like end up in junkyards,
Probably.
parts cars, or they just end up getting a manual swap.
Yeah.
So I feel like we're actually like using the car to its fullest potential.
Well,
you know?
I'd say using the car to a potential.
Yes, definitely. It's not just about cruising around at this height in a lowrider. You gotta hit the switches. So I gotta show you what's in the trunk.
Okay, well, I mean the spare tire, right?
Nah, there's no room for that anymore.
Oops.
I can show you what we got cooking. All right, Bob.
Yeah.
It's time to show you what lowriding's all about.
Okay.
So 50-50 weight distribution is definitely gone. We got 3 big marine batteries in here and 2 big hydraulic pumps. So we can get this thing bouncing. So the way I like to remember it is, this is your front, this is your rear, this is your left, and this is your right.
Okay.
Right? You line that all up.
Yeah.
And there you go.
Should I hit this one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
I've broken it now.
No,
Oh,
you're good,
no.
you're good.
It'll never be the same again.
All right, hit the rear, hit the rear.
That's this one?
Yep. Oh, you're on, yeah. You
My
got
foot! My foot!
all right.
Hang on, wait! Oh.
There you go.
Oh, jeez. Oh. Yeah, it does go low, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I gotta remember to keep my feet out from under it.
All right, Bob. So what do you think of this thing?
It's different. It's not something I would do. And I'm not that embarrassed to be in it, but nobody knows me in this neighborhood, so it's okay. But having said that, your grandmother and I are so proud
Thank you.
of your creativity with these things, which probably needs to be reined in every now and again, but just keep at it.
Well, I really appreciate it.
It's okay.
I do.
It's okay.
You give me some notes. I'm gonna take those notes and I'm gonna make this a better lowrider Miata. I think it'll
That'd be
work.
the first time I ever made suggestions on lowriders, but hey, that's the first time to everything.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Bob, for coming by today
My pleasure.
and watching some horrible Miatas that have been modified.
I'll survive.
Yeah, I think you will. If you want to watch Bob react to Miatas of TikTok, make sure to click this link here. And again, thank you, Bob, for making it out. Thank you, Grandpa.
No worries,
really
no worries.
appreciate it. You want to drive it home?
Sure, what the heck?
Yeah.
Hey, wait.
Yeah.
Doesn't have a clutch pedal.
It's an automatic.
I don't know how to drive an automatic.
That's easy. You'll learn.
I don't think so. Here, you get in. I'm too old to learn stuff like this.
It's not that hard.
It must be easier than getting across a car.
Bye.
Boom.